Всем привет, с вами видеоблог WarStory, я Алексей, и сейчас здесь на канале будет интервью, перевод англоязычного интервью с Гельмутом Вайца, который является одним из самых крупных дилеров по военному антиквариату. Смотрим. Please tell me about most interesting items from your table. For example, about best helmet, ward, and maybe edged weapon.
All right, will do. My pleasure. We have a table full of merchandise. In this moment, we have many very new items. You could just purchase a giant collection with over 60 uniforms from World War II. Some of them are extremely rare. I will show you one. This is something you don't see every day. It is a Panzer black wrapper for an officer, NCO candidate. He was serving in the famous Panzer Division Großdeutschland, but he was commanded to the Führerhauptquartier to be the protection of the Wolfschanze. And you see, this is one of the very few ones with two CAF titles. One is Großdeutschland and the other one is Führerhauptquartier. And you see also the white piping, which was only used for the Großdeutschland units that were protecting the Führer headquarters. And this is the first one in many, many years that I've seen. It was coming more or less direct from a private household. So extremely rare.
When did you buy it?
We have collected the entire collection last week on Tuesday.
Oh, really? It's
So
really
it's very fresh,
fresh
yes.
material.
Also, which a piece that just came in this week is the group here from this Nightcross winner. He was the squadron leader of the Kampfgeschwader 26 during the war. It's coming with all the medals and decorations, all the citations, and after the war, that is him during the war, being a member of the Air Force, and after the war, in the West German Army, he changed from Air Force to the Navy and became a Navy pilot. And what is really nice, the portrait photograph is showing him with his post-war Knight's Cross and the post-war medal bar that you see here. And he's wearing his Knight's Cross together with an American naval pilot wing, which he got awarded being a NATO officer. So,
Okay, so historical.
yes, and we could purchase this in two groups from the grandson and from the son. And all came together in one day. So a really
Okay,
interesting story.
It's full dynasty.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And in this completeness, it's an exception that everything is still there.
And is this one not post-war?
No, this was actually the awarded Knight's Cross. This is a Klein & Quenzer piece. So later on marked 65, but this is one of the very first productions of Klein & Quenzer. And at that time, still only silver hallmark, but no 65. That came a little bit later. But this is actually the cross, what the soldier was wearing on this very photograph. So this is this cross.
It's really interesting.
Yep.
And I have a question. How much is it? How much is the full group?
The whole
historical
group is 25,000 euros.
25,000 euros. And there is a...
Yeah, that's interesting. It's a Spanish cross in gold. So during the Civil War, the Spanish Civil War, he was flying with the German Legion Condor in Spain, and he was quite successful. He got the military bravery medal, and this is from Spain. This is the Spanish commemorative medal after the war finished. And this here was his Spanian cross in gold. You see, after the war, the veteran has destroyed the swastika in the center, but he forgot to remove the swastika from the eagles. So just a curiosity. And this here is the citation for this medal.
Original document.
Original documents. And the original documents for the Spanish decorations are these colorful ones here.
That's very interesting. And I'd like metal bars because a lot of history on small piece. And
Yes. Yeah, a story like this, the group like this is telling the whole history how he was fighting, where he was stationed, his commanders who signed the documents. So it's a very nice story, and you can do a lot of research.
Okay, very interesting. And what about your favorite helmet here on display? A lot of helmets here and
Yeah.
headgear.
I show you a very special one. One moment.
Okay.
I don't know if it is the most expensive helmet here on the table, but for sure one of the rarest. This is an imperial helmet made around 1905, 1910. And the officer was one of our colonial officers in East Africa. In all the years, I'm in business now for over 30 years, I think this is just the second helmet that I could ever find. So this is something really extremely rare. For sure not everybody's interest, but for sure something very historical, what most of the collectors have never seen before.
And a very important item for collectors.
For somebody who's collecting the colonies, for sure very...
And helmets.
Yes. I'll show you one more piece. Let's take a visor head. This is something which might be also interesting for the Russian collector world. This is a visor head for a very high-ranking government official who was in the occupied territories, especially White Russia and Ukraine, the so-called Reichsministerium besetzte Ostgebiete, the ministry for the occupied eastern territories. These were responsible for many horrible parts of the German history during World War II, and his rank is comparable with a general.
How many generals of?
Only a handful. This is the first one I've ever encountered. It's my very first one. And in comparison, you see over there, this is the same visor head, everything in silver, for a regular officer. So here you have the general, and here one of his normal officers could have been commanded to Poland, Ukraine, White Ruthenia, Belarus, everywhere there.
And for example, how much?
This visor head here is 4,500 euros, very nice condition. And the other one, which was actually an American war trophy, I've found it in February at the SOS show in Louisville, that one is 8,500.
Thank you. And could you explain about one-edged weapon on your opinion? What is the
With
best
pleasure.
on here?
Yes, I will show you one. On the first look, these two look like twins. Both were Kriegsmarine Deluxe Navy officer daggers, but they are actually not twins. They were coming from a shop in Lübeck at the Baltic Sea, and these were the display pieces of a dagger shop and were found in the 1970s hidden behind a wall, never issued. The grips are both in ivory. They look like twins, but they are not. And when you look at the different designs, everything was handcrafted. And when you have an idea how many hours it takes to chisel the scabbards, then you get an idea that during the war, when an officer wanted to purchase one of these deluxe daggers, it might have cost him maybe 3 months' salaries.
3 months salaries. And one dagger, just regular WKC.
A regular naval dagger today starts at 600-700 euros.
Yes, and in that time.
At that time, it would be approximately something between 20 and 25 Reichsmarks. So that would be the half of the salary of a little lieutenant.
Really? Half of
His monthly income.
That's interesting.
But these here were way more at the time. Ivory was very expensive at the time. And in this quality, these were exceptional, and still today they are exceptional. We're talking about 15,000 per piece.
That's interesting.
Especially this design here, I've never seen before.
And you said those items found in
In
Lübeck?
Lübeck, in a former shop which was cleaned out, after the war they were selling knives and scissors, and during the war, for sure, also military daggers. And I was told in total they had 5 different as a wall decoration, and these 2 we have received.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yep.
And when did you
This one actually it's not even an inventory number. That one came this Monday, and the other one I have already for about 3 weeks coming from the same source.
How is this show for you? Maybe you found something extraordinary to put it on your private collection or merchandise?
Unfortunately, for my private collection, I didn't find anything, but it is also very difficult.
I understand.
We have purchased one group which is very unusual, which belonged to a Panther Officer. And you must imagine, in the beginning, this person was a paymaster, and not really a war hero. And you have a very nice picture from him as a young lieutenant, being a paymaster, so administrative. And in the end of the war, he signed up to become a Panzer commander. Here you have his photograph from 1944, and you see his unit. He was at an elite unit of the Panzer Recognition. And here is his overseas hat with the unit. You see the tank, reconnaissance tank, with the L for Lehr, Panzer Lehr. This is something I've never ever seen before. And he received all his medals in the last battles. He was a participant of the Battle of the Bulge, what we call the Ardennes Offensive, 1944, Christmas. And he was fighting at the Ardennes, and then he was defending on the German ground. He was in Krefeld and Mönchengladbach. This is really interesting that he was a soldier of the very last weeks and months of World War II, and that the pieces survived. We have received, beside his soul book and his overseas cap, also a bundle of his photographs, and some are actually showing him, I hope I can find it now, with this hat on.
Thank you for your story, Helmut. And
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it was very interesting. And you live in today, and
No, we are flying home tomorrow.
and safe trip home.
Thank you very much.
Safe trip home to
Okay,
Hamburg.
thank you.
Ну а своим зрителям я бы хотел сказать спасибо, что досмотрели это видео до конца, поставили лайк и поделились, конечно же, с друзьями и со знакомыми, которые интересуются тоже военным антиквариатом. И вопрос к вам: что вам больше всего понравилось из вещей на столе Гельмута Вайца, из тех вещей, которые здесь в видео были показаны? А может быть, вы что-то заметили из тех предметов, которые мы не брали в руки, а которые просто попали там в кадр? Все, на этом я с вами прощаюсь. Всем вам доброго вечера и увидимся в следующих видео.